On this week's edition of the program, we hear some of the patients of COVID-19 narrate their experience and what bothers them most. Also, we look at the MSME component of the Economic Sustainability Plan in the interview segment.
On the 20th of March, the Federal Capital Territory confirmed the first 3 cases of COVID-19, thus becoming the 3rd city to report the pandemic in the country. Following the initial report of cases in Lagos, the Federal Capital Administration had identified and set up isolation and treatment centers to cater for cases in the nation's capital. The identified locations include University of Abuja Teaching Hospital, National Hospital, This Day Dome, Asokoro General Hospital, the Railway Training Center Edu, and Karo General Hospital. So far, the nation's capital has reported over 2,300 cases as at July 10th, while over 700 recoveries have been recorded and 35 lives have been lost. The Asokoro General Hospital is one of the isolation centers for COVID-19 patients in the nation's capital. It has a 30-bed capacity, and some of the patients are receiving care at the facility. Before journalists are allowed into the ward, health protocols are observed. Hand washing and use of personal protective equipment. Even the cameras are protected. In the ward, the patients are observing health protocols like social distancing and wearing of face masks. Most of the cases here are not severe, and some of the patients are receiving treatment. It's time to feed them, and health workers are handing them their meals, while some of the patients are unwilling for their faces to be made public. In narrating their experiences, the patients express worry about stigmatization.
Beyond the politics, quote and unquote, of COVID-19, COVID-19 is real. I contracted mine from patients, and I think we don't really understand it until the reality hits us. There might be some symptoms that have similarity with what people would call malaria, but that's a different ballgame. Initially, I had that same suspicion of an anti-malarial, but seeing this persistence of the symptoms, I told myself, no, it's not, but this is beyond malaria. So the Nigerians have to come to the reality that COVID-19 is real. And if it is not detected on time, since there is no clear-cut treatment regimen now, surviving COVID-19 may not be a walk in the park.
Stay safe, be careful, follow all the precautionary measures that, the health practitioners have been telling us. COVID-19 is real, whether you like it or not. I am a COVID patient, I'm recovering. It is not a death sentence. And then there are people that, when they hear that someone is COVID-19, has COVID-19, they start discriminating. For goodness sakes, this is something people recover from. Yeah, a lot of people recover from it. So when you hear that you are positive, don't think that it's the end of the world. It is not. You will be treated and you come out fine. Please, COVID-19 is real. It is real, so real that some persons have actually lost their life. I've been affected directly. I've lost 2 persons under 24 hours. So it is real.
One of the patients at this facility is the FCT Secretary of Health and Human Services, Dr. Mohammed Kau, whose health status is not severe.
I had malaria-like symptoms some 12 days ago. So I got tested, and behold, it was positive. So I had to move into treatment centers. And unfortunately, I developed a moderate to severe symptoms of pneumonia. and I had to be treated on parenteral antibiotics, including one of my daughters, who had also had to be treated on some parenteral antibiotics. But thank God, we are all right now, we are strong. Whenever they decided that we are okay, they discharged us. But the most important thing is that COVID-19 is real, it's there, it's ravaging the societies, but we must change strategies. NCD has changed, we are also changing, that we may not be able to treat everybody in the hospital. And the strategy is what we call home management. Part of my family members have been managed at home by a team of our professionals. We just isolate them there, and since they are asymptomatic, we just give them drugs. And while some of us got managed in the facilities here, some of my family members have been managed at home.
Another center for COVID-19 patients is the Idu Isolation Center. It has a capacity of over 500 beds. Over 360 patients have been admitted into the facility, while over 200 have been discharged. Presently, over 100 patients are on admission.
The overwhelming situation in our communities today has gone to such an extent that people are coming here on their own upon testing positive, which is a factual reality that the community transmission the lockdown was intended to stop was not achieved. So more people are coming. The challenge is we're getting overwhelmed day in, day out. Many cases are being admitted, being treated and discharged. 121 currently on admission, 210 were discharged, and 5 refer cases because their condition changed to becoming severe. We refer them to tertiary institution and where they are well managed.
In order to ensure that everybody gets tested, government is expanding its testing capacity. And now the testing is going deep into the communities. So people should expect to see health officials coming to them to test them for this disease. Please take care of yourself. Follow the laid down basic health protocols. And what are these basic health protocols? Put on your face mask. Whether you are alone or in a gathering, it is very, very important because you need to protect yourself and protect your loved ones. Avoid large gatherings. Ensure that you always wash your hands with soap and running water. Sanitize using the hand sanitizers and keep distance. Nobody says you should not go about your day-to-day activities, but ensure that you do not get infected. Because if people get infected and they have other underlying infections or diseases, that could complicate their situation. And we don't wish that to happen.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
As part of efforts to ensure proper control of the spread of the disease, the FCT administration is partnering the Federal Ministry of Health to ensure that no patient is turned away from any public hospital in the nation's capital for fear of the COVID-19 pandemic.
FCT administration and the Federal Ministry of Health are basically one institution. We leverage on their facilities and their expertise, and they also use our facilities. At the end of the day, our primary responsibility is to ensure that every resident of the FCT gets the best medical services under the policies and guidance enunciated by the Federal Ministry of Health. And we also always encourage all those who provide health services in the FCT to use this place as a model so that let the FCT get the benefit of being close to the Federal Ministry of Health, and let all the medical facilities within the FCT be centers of excellence so that other parts of the country can use us as a model.
We know that not all emergencies are COVID, and we know that our professional oaths oblige us to save lives and do something for those who come to us for help. Our calling as doctors, nurses, and health workers is to save lives. We cannot at this time abandon a divine responsibility, especially in cases of emergency where your service and your help is most needed. This situation calls for examining our system. I do understand that health workers are rightfully concerned about their safety in COVID-19 pandemic. So we have provided personal protective equipment, training, and an infection prevention and control protocol for doctors and nurses to discharge their duties safely without risk to themselves. I'm also informed that many patients are left unattended after admission, or they even die while waiting for a result of a COVID-19 or other test, which can take, in some cases, as long as 3 to 6 days to be released. This has to change, and to address it, I have directed that a site laboratory for a gene expert COVID-19 diagnostic machine, which delivers results within 1 hour, although it has a small throughput, should be deployed and activated at National Hospital Abuja and University of Abuja Teaching Hospital to cut down waiting time. I also direct that basic diagnostic site laboratories be set up at emergency centers of all major hospitals.
The FCT administration also commenced community testing following reports of cases in some suburbs. COVID-19 testing centers have been established in several public health facilities, including the NCDC National Reference Laboratory, Gadua, University of Abuja Teaching Hospital, Gwagwalada, headquarters of the Ministry of Health, Gariki Hospital, Federal Medical Center, Jabi, Nyanya General Hospital, and the National Hospital. According to the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, the FCT has recorded the highest number of tests per population in any state in Nigeria.
FCT has been a leader, has been an absolute leader in the work that we've done. We've had tested close to 20,000 tests in FCT with about 2,000 positives. This is the highest number of tests per population in any state in Nigeria. On the instructions of the Honorable Minister just a few days ago, by the end of this weekend, we will support the FCT team in operationalizing 7 initial sites. We will start with these 7, aiming that by the end of the week after, we will operationalize it across all general hospitals in the FCT to be sample collection sites. We will provide the training, the sample collection materials, quality assurance, IPC support. We just need your staff to be committed to this objective. We need to work with people that want to work with us to achieve this.
The FCT administration is hoping to increase the number of tests in the coming days, especially in the suburbs.
This piece of metal represents the center of Nigeria. It's located on a monolith known as Katampe Hill, a granite outcrop and one of Abuja's highest points. You can get a panoramic view of the nation's capital from the top of the hill. Lying at a latitude of 9.14 north of the equator and a longitude of 7.43 east of Greenwich Meridian, the hill is geographically located in the center of the country. Unfortunately, there is nothing to depict that it is the center of the country other than this piece of metal.
The Nigeria Economic Sustainability Plan 2020 was produced by a presidential committee led by the Vice President, Professor Yemi Oshibajo, in response to the health and economic challenges foisted on the country by the novel coronavirus. A special advisor to the Vice President on Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, Mr. Tola Johnson, talks about how the plan will address the issues affecting small businesses in the country.
I'll speak about two major components that will serve to benefit SMEs across the country. So these two major components. The first one is the GOS. It's called the Guaranteed Offtake Scheme. The Guaranteed Offtake Scheme. Now, what this will do is to guarantee that federal government will purchase locally made products from SMEs across the country. Now, what are these products? Some of these products could be your face mask, could be hand sanitizers, and or whatnot. But what the government will do is to say, at this point in time, where we know that MSMEs across the world, not just Nigeria, across the world, are struggling, and the government will say for those that are eligible and that meet some of our requirements, you can go ahead and produce or manufacture some of these PPEs or some of on some other items that will be outlined, and the federal government will buy those items off you and will distribute to Nigerians where needed as well.
Are they going to distribute those items free to?
Oh yeah, the essence is to distribute those items free. We are not going to buy off SMEs to sell to Nigerians. No, the essence is to distribute. For instance, we have essential workers, we have there are a lot of Nigerians who are not even able to afford this face mask. You know, so I mean, imagine a situation where the government gives a pack of face masks to as many Nigerians as they can. And I know that these face masks come in a pack of 10, some of them in as much as 50. You know, so if government is able to do that, I mean, that can help some of the MSMEs as well. Then the second scheme is the survival fund. Now, as you know, all over the world, businesses are struggling to survive. So survival fund will help SMEs who have not been able to pay salaries, or who are struggling to pay all such salaries, or the ones that have paid, but you say, I might not be able to pay for the next few months to come. What the federal government will do is that augment their salaries. So what they will say for instance, a company that meets its requirement, you would submit your payroll, and it will be over a period of time. It will be, for instance, it will be over a period of time, say from sometime last year, maybe late last year, sometime early this year, when the COVID pandemic started. So once once your payroll is looked into, and then we see that you meet the condition, your staff will be credited a certain sum every month for 3 months. What that will do for you as an SME, as the owner of the business, is that it frees some cash in your hand or in the bank for you to do some other things, basically. So we envisage a situation where these two programs, hopefully they reach the target audience, they reach the target beneficiaries. They will go a long way in trying to cushion the effects of this COVID of the pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic on MSMEs. So, according to the Economic Sustainability Plan, now the aspect I just discussed was the aspect of helping supporting small businesses. Now I've given you 1 and 2 tracks, so there are a number of other tracks there. Overall, we are looking at either sustaining or retaining or adding an additional. In total, we are looking at impacting about 5 million jobs. This year we have done a few states before the pandemic. Now, for the MSME clinics, it is difficult at this moment to anticipate when it will restart. It is on hold until it is humanly possible to return, until we are advised by the appropriate quarter, say NCDC, that you you can return to the field for that. Because at the clinics, don't forget, is a gathering of, in most states, average of 3, 4, 5,000 people. In some states, went over 10,000. So you cannot responsibly, as a government, do that right now. So we understand. So we have so far done 10 states, and we have so far done 26 states. The 11 states that are left to host will host at the appropriate time when it's safe to do so. Now moving to the MSME awards, we were faced with two options. Was it to completely cancel the award for this year, or maybe move it to a time when it's safer? But His Excellency Mr. Vice President, in one of his briefings with Mr. President, said the President has insisted that if there are creative ways of trying to achieve this, if we can achieve this in any form of any creative way, why don't we go ahead? Because in his words, he said the pandemic has destroyed a lot of things. So the little hope that we can give the SMEs, that is within our own control, we should try and ensure that it goes on. So that is why we're having it virtually. The Vice President will be joined virtually by all the nominees. The governors from the different states that have nominees will also join the Vice President online. And don't also forget that the MSME Awards are very popular because there have been success stories. I mean, the issue of Benny, the Plateau State guy that does cars, and now he does some. He's invented a touchless soap washing and sanitizing equipment for COVID-19. It was discovered at the MSME clinic. It was discovered at the MSME clinic in 2016 and 2017, sorry, and he won the awards in 2018 as the MSME of the year. He has gone ahead now to do greater things. Now, we believe that what we are trying to institutionalize is a situation where a plug and play. What we are trying to institutionalize is a plug and play situation where you come in, you find schemes that you think are still relevant, you go ahead and keep running them. Now, for the national MSME clinics, like we have rightly said, the federal government is doing its bit, and that is why it's done within the federal government, the state government, the regulatory agencies. Now, whether it is this government or another government, when you come in, the blueprint is there on how to run that. We're trying to commission or launch some shared facilities. It is the same blueprint. It is the federal government, a partnership with the state government and private sector in most cases. So what we are trying to do is that when you find a cluster in any state where there are a number of SMEs, you look for what is lacking in that cluster to enable their productivity.
Thanks for staying with us. Let's continue with the conversations online through the email address and Twitter handle on your screen. Also, be sure to share anything happening within your locality. Don't forget, you can view the program on youtube.com/channelsweb/videos.